Welcome back in this series of lectures on soaps and detergents. So this is the third lecture in series. To begin with, I would like to introduce an interesting information. Of course, it is not related to this topic, but it is related to chemistry. There is an interesting website very informative website of Royal Society of Chemistry. If you search on this day in chemistry in the cyberspace, you will find an information which is giving history about all the 365 days of a year, and the resource is available with the website of Royal Society of Chemistry. This will create an interest in chemistry subject, as well as it will create enthusiasm in learning chemistry and history of chemistry. For example, today is 25th August. So on this day in history of chemistry, what happened? When you search like this, you will find that it is the day on which British biochemist Sir Hans Adolph Krebs was born in the year 1900. So he was the Nobel Prize winner in 1953 for physiology and medicine for discovering a series of chemical reactions, and the set of reactions is known as Krebs cycle. This forms part of the process of respiration in living organisms, through which energy is generated from food and oxygen. So you can search for any day in history of chemistry, and it will give you an historical outlook and create enthusiasm, interest in learning chemistry itself. So let us come to our topic, that is soaps and detergents. In earlier two lectures we have seen introduction related to soaps, then what are raw materials for soaps. In this lecture we are going to see the process of manufacturing of soaps by boiled or hot process. So friends, we have repeatedly seen the idea regarding soaps. Soaps are alkali salts of higher fatty acids, and it has a general formula RCOOM. The reaction by which soap is manufactured is the most simple reaction is soap is manufactured by neutralizing fatty acids. This is a simple reaction in which the fatty acid RCOOH is treated with alkaline material, and we get soap molecule, and water is the byproduct. So this reaction is neutralization of fatty acids, and soap is obtained very easily. The second chemical reaction in which the soap manufacturing is carried out, by which soap manufacturing is carried out, is called as saponification. In saponification, the raw material is oil or fat. This oil or fat is chemically triglyceride. Triglyceride molecule reacts with suitable alkali, undergoes a reaction in which glycerol and soap are the products obtained. The process of getting soap by this particular reaction, that is from triglycerides and alkali, is called as saponification. The earlier reaction is neutralization, in which fatty acid is converted into soaps, and this reaction in which a triglyceride, that is oil or fat, is converted into soap is called as saponification. The reaction is carried out by using these raw materials, fats or oils and alkaline material. Other additives are there. This we have seen in earlier lectures. So there are several methods of soap manufacturing. One method is called as cold process. The other is called as semi-boiled process. The third one is full boiled process or hot process. The fourth one is continuous process. The difference in these four types is cold process, semi-boiled process, and the third one, full boiled or hot process, are batch type reactions. The reactions are carried out in batches. The fourth method is continuous process, which is used in modern industry. So the titles of these methods reflect general idea regarding the temperature at which the saponification process is carried out. For example, in cold process the temperature is that way lower, comparatively lower. In semi-boiled process the reaction is initiated by boiling, by heating, but not boiling is carried out. And in full boiled process the reaction is carried out by using full boiling process. Okay, so we will have a brief outline. In cold process, which is most simple process, by which handmade soaps are prepared or domestic soaps are prepared, you can customize soap by this method. You can use your desired oil, colorants, scents and other ingredients, and you can prepare soap of your own domestically, and these are handmade and domestic soaps which are manufactured very easily at a normal temperature. The reaction is just initiated by heating the oil or fat just to melt it out, and then it is treated with suitable alkali by using calculated amount of suitable alkali, and by using other additives soaps are manufactured. So cold process is the most simple method. It is the most simple method. The limitation is that the glycerol which is obtained remains with the soap itself. It is not recovered. These are the soaps prepared by cold process. Again, this slide also explains the same cold process. In semi-boiled process, as the name suggests, the fat is placed in a kettle and alkali solution is added, while the mixture is stirred well and heated but not boiled. In semi-boiled process, the temperature is little higher, but it is not the boiling temperature. The mass of the saponified reaction mixture is obtained in the kettle, and then it is poured into frames where it solidifies. These methods are technically simple, and because they require very little investment for machinery, they are ideal for small factories. In this second method also, in semi-boiled process also, glycerol is not recovered. In cold process and in semi-boiled process, glycerol remains with the soap itself. So even though it is a valuable byproduct, it is not recovered, it is not separated, it remains with the soap. In the third method, which is boiled process or full boiled process, or also it is called as hot process, the reactor is like this. It is a kettle, it is a pan known as kettle. It has structural design like this. I have taken this figure from the textbook. So it shows various attachments. There is a separate provision for steam. Steam is used for heating purpose, steam is used for agitation. There is a separate inlet for lye, and the reaction is carried out in this particular kettle, and the process is called as full boil process. The steps involved in this process are number 1, step 1, which is called as boiling or saponification. A calculated amount of tallow, that is animal fat or coconut oil, is taken in the kettle, and calculated amount of suitable alkali like sodium hydroxide is added, and the entire mixture is heated. As I mentioned earlier, the raw material, which is a oil or fat, is heated and it is converted into molten form, and predetermined value of alkali is added to it, and the reaction is carried out by heating. By calculating SAF value and other parameters, the amount of alkali can be determined. The reaction is continued and soap is formed, which is as usual. In the second step, we are going to remove the glycerin. In the first step, as the process of saponification is carried out, a mixture of soap and glycerin is obtained. Glycerin is a very important and valuable byproduct. So in the second stage, which is called as the graining or salting out process, glycerin is most valuable byproduct, so it has to be removed. For this purpose, brine solution, means sodium chloride solution, is added. Soap is not soluble in salt water, it floats, whereas glycerin, which is soluble in, is separated as the spent lye. This is further processed to separate glycerin. So importance of this step is we separate glycerin from the reaction mixture. Okay. In the third step, the soap is boiled with alkali if required. Means if saponification is incomplete and if you desire, you can heat with the more amount of alkali to ensure the saponification. After remaining sodium hydroxide or alkali is neutralized with weak acid such as citric acid to make the process complete. In the last stage, which is called as finishing, the soap mass is boiled with water. When it is boiled with water, it gets concentrated, and on cooling, two layers are separated. So lower layer is called as nigre. It is a mixture of soap in soap solution. It is used for next batch. The upper layer is of molten soap and is called as neat soap. To this neat soap, other additives like preservatives, colors and perfumes are added. Then it is dried well, shaped into bars, packed and kept ready for the sale. So this is the last stage, after which the soap is ready for marketing. This is a general picture of a soap factory, which is a continuous factory. These are the transparent soaps. Then the advantages of this full boil process or hot process are, three advantages are there. One is glycerol is the valuable byproduct. Glycerol or glycerin we say, which is a valuable byproduct, and in the cold process and semi-boiled process it was difficult or it is difficult to separate, and glycerin or glycerol remains with the soap itself. The second advantage is complete saponification takes place, because during the process of saponification you can ensure the completion of reaction, and if required you can continue the process by additional amount of alkali. So complete saponification takes place. And the third important benefit is the spent lye, which is obtained after saponification, can be reused for the next batch. So it can be recycled for next process. So with this we have finished the article related to soap manufacturing by boil process or hot process. So you are expected to write a note on this method of manufacturing. So the question will be, what are soaps? Write a note on soap manufacturing by full boil or hot process. So with this discussion, I will be back next time for further articles. Thank you.